Hello world, it's Lou Ann Pygate. Welcome to my kitchen for the morning. We are going to be making cornbread and squash, and I am heating up what I made last night. This is my ham and bean soup, so it'll be nice and hot. We have our cookies, our oatmeal raisin cookies that are done, and I'm going to now do squash and cornbread. So here's my squash, and there's my pan. So I'm going to put some butter in my pan. It's about 3 tablespoons of butter. I don't usually really measure. Just kind of do whatever. Throw some butter in there. That's unsalted butter. I usually use salted, but that was easier to grab. So I'll just add salt. And it will become salted butter. Okay, so then this is my squash. But I'm going to actually cut up an onion first. This little onion right here, I usually like to use the sweet onions the best. But I got these for free. One of my co-workers, somebody brought her a bunch of produce, and it was more than she could ever possibly use, and she's like, who wants some free stuff? And it was, I don't know, something they got at a farmer's market or something. I'm not sure where it even came from. All my good knives are dirty. Look at this. All right, hold on. Let me get one here and wash it. So she gave away a bunch of onions. There was onions, and there was 2 or 3 other things, too. I don't remember what she had now, but it was good. But these little onions are a lot stronger than the sweet onions. They're a lot stronger on your eyes, is what I'm saying. But they're still good onions. And they're so little. Okay, wash me a knife here. Hold on. Alright. But what I do, because the onions that get to your eyes, is I cut it over here next to my stove and I turn on my exhaust vent on high. And it actually pulls the onion fumes up and out of the way. Did you know that? Do you know I discovered that by accident one day? I was cutting onions and thinking, gee, this isn't even bothering my eyes. I wonder why. It's not making my eyes tear. What's happening? And I realized I was here next to the stove and I had my exhaust vent on high. And I thought, well, I wonder if that's it. Next time I cut onions, I did not have the exhaust vent on, and notice it started bothering my eyes. So I scooched over to the stove and turned the exhaust vent on real quick, and it instantly quit bothering my eyes. And I'm like, oh, look at here. I have found a new trick. Cut your onion by your exhaust vent in your stove. And it pulls the fumes up. It helps a little bit anyway. These onions are stronger though, so they still can get to you. But the normal sweet onions, I find they don't bother me at all if I have my vent on. So I'm slicing through this like this. I'm going to turn this up just a little. Get that butter all over the pan. And I'm just going to slice some of this onion. Now I don't measure the onion for squash either. This is for squash, so you would do like half an onion or something. However much onion you like. I like cooked onion. I don't like raw onion, but I do like cooked onion. It really adds a lot of flavor. Now, if you have people that don't like onion in food, you can either cut it so small they can't see it, or cut it so big that they can easily avoid it. But then you can still have your onion in there if you want. I'm going to go ahead and cut up this whole onion because it's so little. There we go. Just get rid of the core of it. And I don't have any great way to cut up onions. I just kind of whack at it. Alright, so let me turn this on a little higher for a minute. Put my onion in there and let that saute. I kind of like to let that saute at first. See, that didn't bother my eyes at all this time. I let that saute at first because I really want that onion cooked. So here's my nice little squash. And I am going to go wash this real quick, so just hold on there a second. Uh-oh. I didn't want to do that. Let me wash it. Squash is known to have dirt on times when you get it, so I always like to wash. Alright, then we're going to cut our squash, and you can do thick, thin, whatever you like. It'll cook faster thin. It gives it a little more body and texture if you do it thick. I sort of kind of like to do a little bit of a medium in-betweeny thing. Not too thin, and not super thick either. And then I'm just going to add that there and on top. And this squash is a little cold because it's been in the refrigerator. So I do have my stove on a little high for a minute to get that chill out. And just cut off the ends. Now if you would rather cut it in like chunks rather than slices, you can do that too. I just want to do it where it kind of cooks a little faster, so I'm not doing it too thick. And then you can also cook your squash to however done you want. If you want it totally soft and done, you can do that. If you prefer a little texture to it, you know, where it's got some bite left in it, then don't cook it all the way done. You can just cook it till it's part way. But the onions and butter cooking smells so good. I love the smell of onions and butter. Then when I get about half of it in, I go ahead and add some salt and pepper. Now, to me, squash can handle a lot of salt and a lot of pepper. I love pepper on salt. I don't like pepper in everything. I know it's kind of weird. But I love it in squash. I put a lot of pepper in squash. My stove is apparently uneven, and all the butter's like going to one side. I'm tilting the pan. Like, get the butter back on the other side. Got a couple more to go. And I'm cooking squash just because we're having ham and bean soup, and you know, we need some sort of vegetable too. So, you know, just cook any vegetable you want. I haven't done squash in a while, so that's what I'm making. I really like squash. This is one of the things, even as a kid, I like squash, which is unusual. A lot of kids won't eat it, but I liked squash as a kid, and I was a real picky eater too. But this is one of the things I really like with squash. Sometimes I mix it with zucchini and carrots. That makes it really good. The carrots make it really sweet. Okay, so there you go. Now we're going to make the cornbread. Now I have more than one kind of cornbread that I make. Let me stir this a little bit. I am going to add a little bit more salt on top of this. Now my ham and beans are boiling, so I'm turning that down to low because they're done. I'm just heating them. I'm going to add more salt and pepper to what I just put in. So like I have salt and pepper on all of it this way. Then I'm going to stir. Oh, squash cooking with the onions and the butter, it smells so good. Now let's turn that down to about medium. And then I'm going to cover it. Cook a little faster. Okay, so now we shall do our cornbread. Okay, so I am today using the Jiffy cornbread mix for this one. I do make a homemade cornbread that's my grandmother's cornbread that I absolutely love. This is a sweet cornbread. So my grandmother's cornbread is not sweet. This one is sweet. So it depends on, do you want sweet? Do you not want sweet? This paper towels is the crummiest paper towels I've ever had. Look at this. They're ripping in pieces. And this is the brand I usually buy, and they usually are fine. But some reason, this batch, it's just terrible. They're like, not the two plies aren't sticking together. They don't tear off even. I'm like, all right, I'm about to switch brands here on y'all. Now, what's the deal with this one? Okay, there's my little container, my spoon. So I have this Doctor Up this thing recipe. So I have my oven on 400. This is called What Can I Do to Make Jiffy Cornbread More Moist? And you know, Jiffy cornbread is really dry, so I'm like, well, let's try this. So I'm only going to make this. Actually, this recipe tells you to make double, and I don't want to make double. I'm going to make a small amount I'm going to make just the one package, but if you want double, then just double everything. So I'm going to do 1 box of Jiffy cornbread mix. I accidentally, hold on, sorry, that pepper got to me. I accidentally bought the one that says honey. I didn't even know there was one that said honey. I didn't know that existed, but we got honey, so we're going to hope it works with that. You're going to use 1 egg, so I'll put the egg in there. Throw that away. And so this is like what you would normally put in it from the package directions. You're going to put in 1 egg, and then you're going to put in 1/3 cup of milk, and I use regular whole milk. Let me find, oh, I know. I'm going to say, where is my measuring cup? Here it is. The one I want. I have so many measuring cups. All different sizes, and the one I want was actually put up in the cabinet where it belonged. Look at there. Can't find stuff that's put up. Alright, so here's my 1/3 cup of milk. And this is how you would normally make Jiffy cornbread mix normally. 1/3 cup of milk and an egg. And that's all you would put in there. I'm going to go ahead and stir that together. Get that mixed together. Just using a spoon. Okay, so now what you're going to add to this that you normally don't add is 1/2 cup of sour cream. Oh, it's going to make it so good. I hope. If it turns out, it's going to be good. Let me get my measuring cups here. My other kind. Here they are. Okay. First thing you want to do with sour cream is when you get it and it's kind of got liquid on top like that, don't pour it off or you will end up with dry sour cream. Stir it in. So when you get your sour cream and you see that it's separated, just stir it back. I used to just pour that liquid off and then I would end up with sour cream in the bottom that was like thick and not good. And I'm like, well, I should have stirred that in. Start stirring the liquid in, put it back together, and it won't be as thick when you get to the bottom. So here's 1/2 cup of sour cream. Okay, I'm going to add that into that. Now. I'm so curious to see how this turns out because I like Jiffy cornbread mix, but it is, I agree, it's dry. One of the reasons my mom won't usually eat it because she says it makes her, irritates her throat, makes her cough, and then she chokes on it. So she's like, oh, I don't want to eat cornbread, it's too dry. I found this recipe and I thought, oh, I wonder if this will help her to be able to eat it because it's not going to be as dry. Now I'm going to take a whisk because the sour cream's a little lumpy in there. I'm going to take this little teeny whisk and I'm going to stir it with a whisk to kind of break up some of those lumps. Then you have one more ingredient. You are going to do 1/4 cup of oil. It says vegetable oil. I have canola oil. I would imagine you can do whatever oil you want. About 1/4 cup. Let me get my little measuring cup again. What I used before. The one for liquids. So with the sour cream and the oil, this should be moist. Okay, here's your oil. Okay, there we go. Now, stir that in. And we're going to add our 1 package of Jiffy cornbread mix. It says you can add a tablespoon of sugar optionally. I don't think I'm going to add any sugar because To me, Jiffy cornbread mix is sweet. So I don't think I'm going to add more sugar. I guess maybe if you've added all those liquids, maybe you've taken away some of the sugar. I don't know. But since this is a honey cornbread, maybe it's already got plenty of sugar. I'm smelling it. Doesn't smell any different. Oh, it looks different. It's a lot browner looking than normal with the honey. Okay, here we go. I dump it all in. I stir it together. And, oh, do you know it usually tells you to let it sit for 3 or 4 minutes and it puffs up? Okay, that is really liquidy. I hope this is going to be good. It's really liquidy. Hey, but this is the recipe. Let's just hope and pray this turns into cornbread and not soup. Look how liquidy that is. Okay, well, I knew I was adding more liquid, so just reading it again real quick, make sure, yep, I did everything right. Alright, I'm going to throw away the box. I'm going to put up my sour cream. My oven is ready to go. Oh, my lid's coming off my sour cream. Hold on. Back on there, lid. What time is it? 12:08. Okay. Well, no, I'm doing pretty good, actually. I'll still get there about the same time I normally do. Now, this will take, it says if you are doing where you double everything, where you use 2 of everything I use, you put it in a 9x9 casserole dish, but I didn't, I'm not using double. So I'm using like what would be half that size pan, I hope. And you're going to bake it at 400 for 25 to 30 minutes or until a cake tester comes out clean. Okay, I've got my oven on. Let's check my squash real quick. No, you can't see it. Here. There's my squash. Let me turn that up just a little bit. Where did I put my spoon? Here it is. Stir the squash again. I just love squash cooked in butter. It is so good. Stir it around a little bit. Over there. Let me see how this is doing. Nice and hot. Get that off of my oven vent. Okay, so I'm going to, does it tell you, see, it doesn't tell you to spray the pan or anything. Oh, yes, it does. Greased 9x9 dish. Okay. So I'm going to spray it. This is what we usually do with cornbread. I usually just spray it. There we go. And that will take, like I said, what did it say, 25 to 30 minutes. 25 to 30. So we will check this in 25 minutes. I'm going to pour it in our dish. And I'm so concerned I'm going to end up with soup. But this is a recipe I found online. We may or may not have cornbread with our soup today. We may have spoon bread. We're just trusting this is gonna work. I hope this turns out good. Now I'm always gonna wonder if this doesn't turn out, I'm gonna wonder if it would have turned out if it was the regular Jiffy and not the honey. But I accidentally bought the honey, so that's all I got. Alright, here we go in. Gonna set it for 25 minutes. 400 degrees, 25 minutes, and then go to 30 if 25 wasn't enough. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and go, and I will take a picture, and I'll let you know if that turned out. I'll let you know if it was any good. And you have a great Sunday. Talk to you all later today or tonight. It might be later tonight. I might have something extra to do today that I do in the ministry live, but I will do it at some point. If I don't make it today, I'll actually do it tomorrow, but at some point I will do the ministry live. And I will see you later. Bye.